to go for the rest of the afternoon. So I will jump straight in. We've got the Partner Showcase Service Desk goes from zero to hero with Zendesk. It's all about the people. With Celina Ablewhite, the Customer Services Manager from Nottingham-Trent University, and we've also got Carl McConnon also here as well. So I'll pass you straight over. Thank you.
Thank you. So, NTU Service Desk, who are we? So we are NTU, and we are the service desk from NTU, but we're also representing the whole of the Information Systems Department. Because we were invited here today by Zendesk to tell you our story of our journey of when we got Zendesk and how we went through the whole process of leaving what we had behind to getting to where we are today and ending up as a team full of people who are engaged. So, my name is Celina Ablewhite, and I'm the Customer Services Manager in IS, and I manage the service desk, service delivery, change management, and the IT communications from our department to everybody around the university, which means all staff and students. And then I've got Carl here. Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl, and I am one of the service desk analysts on the service desk. As well as doing all the day-to-day service desk stuff, I do the Exchange and Zendesk administration.
So Carl is the Zendesk administrator, so if you've got any questions afterwards, Carl is the one that knows everything about it, to be honest with you. He makes it work. So the service desk have 5 roles on it, 2 analysts and 3 technicians. And what they are expected to do is do one-touch tickets and make sure we do a lot of first-time fixes. I think our percentage is about 74% one-touch tickets. They have their own second-line queue, so not a traditional service desk stuff comes in, but they also have a queue that their own stuff goes to. And they also escalate tickets to other people, to other teams, and also to other departments, because we can also escalate our tickets to the web team and student support services. We are first-line support for all staff, and there is about 6,000 members of staff at NTU, and we are second-line and also first-line support to some of the students, of which there are 45,000 students. Over the last 12 months, so that's a rolling 12 months, we've already handled 70,000 tickets. And the most we ever did in the year, as you can see, that was 78,000 tickets. It was one of the most painful years we ever had, but that was when we rolled out Office 365. So a lot of those questions, to be honest, were people coming up because they wanted to get their email on their smartphones again. So that's why that shot up. Over the last 12 months, we've had 17 major incidents, both in and out of hours, and we handle all of those. And obviously we are here to talk about how Zendesk actually changed our working life. It changed how, as a department, as people, we felt about our work, and how people who were coming to ask IT questions changed the way they felt about us. Okay. So, our journey, where we were and what gave us the decision to change. We were a department of very dissatisfied people. We'd used several service management tools, and none of them were working for us. And I'll only mention the last 2 that we used. One of them was heavily email-based, in the fact that we looked at the email and then we had to copy and paste the email into the service management tool to then be able to escalate it. And it was just, well, some of you probably can feel that pain. It was just an absolute joke. So it meant that everything you were doing, you were really doing twice. And then another one that we had, when you were working on the tickets, you'd pass them on to the other areas, they'd do the work, but then they would pass the ticket back to the service desk to do the customer transaction, to let the customer know that the work had been done, and then close the ticket. So the service desk would have the normal stuff coming in, and then they'd have their second line queue, and then they would have this queue of stuff coming in that other people had fixed. So sometimes there would be tickets that people had fixed yesterday that were still in our queue to tell people in a nice customer way that your work had been done. So obviously that wasn't working for us at all. if we wanted to make any changes to those service management tools we were using, we had to go to another team and say, can you work on this? Can we change it? And quite often the other team would say, oh, it's going to have to go into development. And how long will development be? 2 or 3 months maybe. So we weren't getting anywhere. We were getting no changes at all. So we worked out that obviously this was all too time consuming and we needed to change. People would say to us, how many tickets are you doing at the moment? What kind of tickets are you passing through? And we couldn't say how many we were doing. We had a saying called missing millions, where people would say, you must be doing this many thousand, or you must be doing that. We could guess, and we could have a good guess, but we couldn't back anything up. We couldn't say, this is factual. So we couldn't do any reporting. So we barely coped with volume. We couldn't report on anything. As a team and as a department, we hated it. Our customers hated it. They weren't getting any kind of service, and evidently it cost a fortune. But the biggest thing was the people who had put it in the first place had now all left. So there was no point in keeping it anymore. So we realised it was time to change. So we were lucky that as we'd decided it was time to change and the department was ready, it all coincided with new leadership. And we got this man here, Mike Day, as our new IS director. We also got another new person called Peter Nicholson, and he was the head of infrastructure and operations. And Pete was my boss, and he started to look at what we were doing and look at how we worked, and with me look at how the service desk and the department was struggling with the service management tools that we had. So what was apparent was the fantastic work ethic that there was in the department and in the team. And you could see that the people that we'd got really did care. They were really passionate about their job. They were trying to have fun and trying to carry on in their day as normal, but firefighting all the time. So Mike had worked at Lincoln, where they had successfully had a Zendesk, and I believe it was under Mike. I think it was Mike's idea. I'm not sure about that though. So we went to Lincoln to see it, and we were shown it. And for us, from where we were to where we were going, we just thought, wow, look at this tool. It was transparent, it was easy. You could see the queues, you could see how you could pass tickets, you could have automated things happening. I was just completely blown away, and I was so jealous. So anyway, after going to see it and we realised what a great tool it was, Mike and Pete had a conversation, because they got all the money, and decided that we were going to go for it. So that was it. We were going to have it. So it was great. So before we knew it, we actually got the vanilla out of the box, and it really was the vanilla out of the box, wasn't it, Carl? There was no strings attached. And we started to test and play with it. This is where Carl comes in, because he's the moaniest and he's the loudest. So, Carl.
It is true, I am the moaniest, loudest person on the service desk. And when we were doing all the testing, I was continually asking Pete Nicholson to do all these changes for me. And eventually he had enough, and he just went, oh God, here's admin access, and he let me loose on the system. I loved how easy everything was, from customizing fields and options, creating reports and forum posts for our end users to see, updating the emails that customers and our staff would get. Everything was so easy and instantaneous. It was an incredible change from where we were.
And he means all that. It's not just making it up, and nobody has paid him, because I have to work with him on a daily basis, and Carl always lets me know exactly how he's feeling. Right to my face sometimes. It really doesn't matter. So obviously, we could see that Carl was making these changes instantly, and in a short space of time, we had tested it and we had customised it. The transition was fantastic for us, because what we could see is that as a group of IT professionals, a huge department of about 120 people, we didn't need any training to use what we'd got set up. We didn't need to go to each individual and say, right, can you come and get some training on Zendesk, please? Because we were using all the same service codes we'd used before, and using all the way closure codes and that kind of thing that we'd used before. So it was just a case of you were going from one tool that was really painful to one that you just could quite intuitively work through. I know people hate the word intuitively. But basically, we knew that we could push it out without doing any training. And Pete Nicholson's quote that is on there was basically, if you can shop online and if you can do online banking, then you can do this. And obviously 120 people already working in IS, so we thought, right, we're just going to whack it out there. So there was no time wasting. So that was it. We're going live. He's not as loud as Carl, but he is actually still quite loud. That's James. So we played with it and we tested it and we decided we were going to go live. Because obviously we thought no training, right, we're just going to go big bang. And we did. We just decided we got a date ready and we were ready to go. So on the 13th of January 2012, I always forget the year. So on 13th January 2012, our Zendesk went live for us to play with. So that was the first time we saw it. And then on the 20th of January 2012, we were ready to give it a name because we felt it was a service that we could already push out. We named it Service Manager. So that's how it's branded to our staff and students. And then on Wednesday the 8th of February, we actually did go live that morning and just switched the email over. So that was within 18 working days from getting the vanilla out the box to doing this big bang live, just like that. Were we scared? Yeah, of course we were. We were absolutely terrified. But the pain of what we'd been using before was actually more frightening to continue like that than it would be to actually jump ship and try this change. The thing we spent our time on in that 18 days was customizing anything that was customer facing. So things like the automatic emails, we wanted to put a bit of branding on that, and we wanted to make sure we'd put the wording in that was right to our values, to our NTU values, which obviously I did recognise. Thanks to Alistair. So we did spend our time on that, and also every agent has to have a login, so we needed to make sure all our agents got their logins so that obviously they can log in and do the work. So that was it, really. We didn't go for too much other of the apps and all the features because we were just going with what we'd got. So we knew it was plain, but we knew we could go with it, and we knew that we could grow into it. So when we went live, we had a simple, transparent service management tool. And in that, it had its own reporting tool that started gathering all our data straight away from launch. And so we set the date, switched the email over, and our Zendesk adventure began. The service desks were ready, department agents were ready, our customers didn't even realise until the emails started coming through because they just sent stuff in as normal. And that was it, our self-branded service manager had gone out there. Within the first hour we were quite nervous, but obviously we saw the tickets just start to roll in. And we never looked back, really. The queues just started to fill up quite easy. Carl was looking at everything from an administrator point of view in case we needed to tweak anything. And of course, because Carl is in the service desk team, he could do all that. And obviously running around to the rest of the department in case there was anybody who were having issues. And then we had the emails coming in. When your ticket, your email lands in our queue, it sends out an automatic email to the customer with a number in it to say this is your unique number, and a web link to say that if you want to log in and go and have a look at your ticket's progress, you can do that. So that's the self-service element of it. You can go and look at it. But then as soon as somebody had logged their name against that ticket, another email goes to say, your ticket has now been assigned to Glenn in the networking team, and he will be looking after it for you. So it was really quite personal, and the customer would know who they got in IS actually looking at their ticket. So this is our slide from zero to hero. This young man, his name is Degan, and he ran around the work all day handing out sweets dressed as Batman, just because he was in the mood to do so. To be honest with you, people still talk about that day, but he was such great fun. We instantly got buy-in from the whole of the department and also the service desk, and we never looked back. No one wanted to go back, because obviously we've got a rollback plan in place, but we didn't have to use it. Nobody wanted to go back, and we were running both the systems side by side. But some of the people in the department were saying, can I take my tickets out of there and put them into the new system? And I'd say, of course you can. Put what you want in Zendesk, but make sure that the customer knows that you're giving them a new ticket number. Because when we've got so many tickets in the old system, we didn't want to waste time pushing it all over. But it didn't take long until the old system was decommissioned. And then 1 year on from us getting Zendesk, we get it announced that we're going to have a full audit on the service desk functions, the service desk processes and procedures. I nearly cried. I think I didn't sleep for a week. And it was basically PricewaterhouseCoopers coming in to test us from an ITIL standard or ITIL standard, or whatever people say. And everything, we keep our service desk survival guide and all our process and procedures in OneDrive. OneNotes. Oh, see, I never get that right either. I preferred it when it was SkyDrive. In OneNotes. So everything you need to know, basically anyone could sit there, read through this guy and become a service desk analyst just like that. Not. So we were told, obviously, the audit was going to start. So April 2013, which is just over a year, the auditors came in and started combing through everything that we'd got customer facing, every transaction, everything we did to this ITIL standard. And then in May 2013, we were awarded a green light, no recommendations to our audit. Oh, we couldn't believe it. It was groundbreaking for us because no department ever in NTU's history had been given an audit that had got no recommendations and was completely green light. I was like, yay. But we were so pleased because it wasn't just the team and it wasn't just the service desk, it's the way the whole of the department were using the new service management tool. We were all less frustrated. It was easy, it was transparent, reporting was easy and positive, and you could view how you were doing. So all the tickets and stuff were going on, but in the reporting you could see what your team was doing, you could see how you were doing as an individual, or you could report on whatever you wanted to look at for service, not just people. So reporting wasn't just for managers to sit there and start talking about, oh, how are we doing on SLAs. Reporting was for everyone. Anybody that's an agent in Zendesk can see how they're performing or how well they're doing. It's entirely up to them. So we went from firefighting and battling every day to being more productive, handling a shed load more tickets, incidents and requests, and feeling really good about our day. The whole department had got self-worth, and what had really felt like zero, and it had felt like zero at times, we now had a department and a team full of heroes. Although after the conversation the other day about heroes, I don't mean individual heroes, I mean all people are heroes, even though Degan is wearing the outfit. So obviously, once the tickets started rolling in, we got more and more feedback coming in. And every ticket, every transaction that is done with Zendesk, we have it set up to offer an automated satisfaction email. They go out every time. You don't have to respond if you don't want to, obviously, but it really is quite simple. It's a simple thumbs up, good, I'm satisfied, and a thumbs down, bad, I'm not satisfied. When you click on those, it then takes you to a page to leave comments, and you can leave your comments, either your comments about how fantastic the service was, or the comments on where you think it was lacking. Now, we welcomed all responses, because obviously the goods make you feel great. You think, yeah, thanks, that was another good, and they said service was excellent and service was fast, and of course you feel great about those, you're supposed to. But we wanted, and as a customer service manager, I wanted to see what the bad, what the bad responses were. It's me getting passionate again, that's my problem. Because it's the bad responses we've got the most to learn from. So Pete and I made the decision that every bad with comments that we got, I was going to phone them up and find out what had actually gone wrong. Oh God, it was terrible at first. But obviously, the first thing I did when I phoned people up was A, apologise that they'd had bad service, and then B, I could investigate what had gone wrong. What had gone wrong? Was it processes and procedures? Was it the service? Was it IT failure? What was it? Of course, when you just get someone saying all your service is rubbish, which we used to get quite a lot of, you don't really know where you're going and you can't move forward with that. But when you've got people actually telling you why they thought your service was bad and engaging in a conversation with our users, with our staff and students, it meant we could change things. I could go back to the agents, I could go back to the team leaders and have conversations about changing things so that it didn't happen again. I'm not going to deny that some of those conversations were quite tricky, and we did have one gentleman who'd worked with us for a very long time, he'd been in the department a long time, and he got a bad, and oh dear, I thought I've got to go and talk to him and it's right, going to kick off. But he actually bypassed me and went to the head of section and actually apologised for getting this bad and apologised for getting the bad service, because he was absolutely devastated that, you know, while he was doing his work, someone had thought he'd been crap, basically. So it was good to see that people did actually really care, even if they gave the impression that they didn't. This calendar year, so January through to June, we have done 40,000 tickets, of which 81 have been rated as bad, and 9,000 have been rated as satisfied. Plus, I know at least 2 of the bads that we got last month were because we didn't read the mind of the customer. So, because we did what they asked and closed the ticket, but evidently what they wanted next was this. So, Zendesk do loads of apps and features, and I have put in a request to them that they put a mind-reading app in the next one so that we can get slightly less bads. Sometimes when we do get a bad, obviously it's not our fault. You just have to, you know, go and swallow your pride at that point. We get a 37% satisfaction response rate, which I believe is quite a good response rate to surveys. I'm not sure what the average is. And obviously I'm lazy, I didn't look that up before I came. So as you can see from the top, we do get on average a 99% satisfaction week on week, and it is there on the screen that everybody works on the service management tool, and they see it. They see that we've got this satisfaction every day when they're working. It once dropped down to 94%, and I had to tell Mike Day that it had dropped to 94%, and I was devastated, and he went, 94% is actually really good. But it didn't feel really good. Because obviously when you're used to 99%, 94% felt a bit crap. But, you know, we'll ignore that now. And because the data is already there in Zendesk, and it is collecting all the time, our reporting has really changed. And Carl, obviously, because he does everything on Zendesk, is the report man. So he's going to tell you about reporting.
Oops, sorry. As Celina said, all the reporting and everything within Zendesk is transparent, and it is all in one place. Everything starts collating, all your services and solutions, your closure codes, all your tasks and incidents, everything is there. So you can concentrate on what you want to report on. There's no importing of data, you don't have to go and check 3 different places, it's all there. All you have to do is think, what do I want to report on? How do I want to see it? Table, graph, whatever. And what filters I need to get to where I need to be. It's that easy. It really is. Back to you.
Yeah, it is easy. We do monthly reports to all our schools and colleges, to the deans and the deputy deans, and on the 1st of every month, but we haven't done this one, and if Pete's watching we're going to be in trouble. We collate the reports and we send them all out with all the satisfaction, all the little arrows that are red to say things dropped, or green to say things went up, and it talks about the major incidents or the key incidents that happened in those schools and colleges throughout that month, and it's all collated in one place. And we can quote all our numbers and statistics really confidently because it's all there in Zendesk and the tool offers it all. I really do feel like I'm selling it, don't I? But it is so personal to me, obviously, because it's changed our lives. So 5 years on, and we are still improving, and Zendesk are constantly improving. They are providing apps and new features all the time, and they get in contact to say, have you looked at this app? Because from the way you've been working recently, we think this app might help you. So they do engage with us and get us to test things out and show us new things that they're developing. Obviously not the mind-reading one. I'll mention that to the girls outside. The biggest thing for us as well was our new forums that we launched 2 years ago? 2 years ago, where we, after running with it for a few years, we went and did some development and changed it from being the vanilla out of the box and made it look branded and made it look beautiful. And as we did that, we turned our forums into announcement pages. And this was a big thing for us because we were putting things in there like our technical user guide, technical information, and anything that we needed to have on our web support page, so the self-service type stuff, that was all on there. But also, we have to get communication out to the whole of the university and the staff about when IT things are happening, like changes, breaks in service.
You're at time.
Oh, am I? Right. So what we did was we put the forums on there so that people can follow the forums and make sure that they see the announcements. They can have the auto email from there, or they can literally just go and look at it whenever they want to know what's going on. So 16 of the departments have started to use Zendesk in NTU because Mike Day told such a good story about our green light audit. We've had the VC come down and work with us in our department and sit with us and take calls on the service desk. And our summary basically is we're moving on to doing SLAs, auto SLAs, because we do work by our SLAs, and every ticket will show green if we're on target and red if we're in a risk of breaching. So that's the next step that we're moving on to. But other than that, Zendesk for us has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Any time for any questions right now, but I'm sure that Celina and Carl will be more than happy to speak with you.
People are just in the other
Yeah, we've
room.
been spending some time with them.
Yeah, fabulous. Just if we could give them another round of applause, please. Thank you.